Hey guys, we're here to present to you a topic that you probably don't know much about. It is President's Day and we really hope you enjoy it. George Washington was born on February 22nd, 1732 in Westmoreland County, Virginia. From age 7 to 15, he was homeschooled and studied with a local church section, and later a schoolmaster in practical math, geography, Latin, and the English classics. But much of the knowledge he would use the rest of his life was through his acquaintance with backwoodsmen and the plantation foreman. By his early teens, he had mastered growing tobacco, stock raising, and surveying.
In the early 1750s, France and Britain were at peace. However, the French military had begun occupying much of the Ohio Valley, protecting the king's land interests and fur trappers and French settlers. But the borderlands of this area were unclear and prone to dispute between the two countries. Washington showed early signs of natural leadership, and shortly after Lawrence's death, Virginia's lieutenant Governor Robert Dinwiddie appointed Washington adjutant with the rank of major in Virginia militia. Washington was given the honorary rank of colonel and joined British General Edward Braddock's army in 1755. Washington applied for a commission with the British Army but was turned down. In December 1758, he resigned his commission and returned to Vermont disillusioned. Immediately on resigning his commission, Washington was married, January 6, 1759, to Martha Dandridge, the widow of Daniel Parke Custis. She was a few months older than he. In 1779, Washington introduced a resolution to the House of Burgesses calling for Virginia to boycott British goods until the acts were repealed. After passage of intolerable acts in 1774, Washington chaired a meeting in which the Fairfax Resolve were adopted, calling for the convening of the Continental Congress and the use of armed resistance as a last resort. He was elected as a delegate to the First Continental Congress in March 1775.
The political dispute between Great Britain and the North American colonies escalated into an armed conflict. In May, Washington traveled to the Second Continental Congress in Philadelphia, dressed in a military uniform indicating that he was prepared for war. On June 15th, he was appointed Major General and Commander-in-Chief of the colonial forces against Great Britain. Political considerations and force of personality aside, Washington was not necessarily qualified to wage war on the world's most powerful nation. Washington's training and experience were primarily in frontier warfare, involving small numbers of soldiers. He wasn't trained in the open field style of battle practiced by the commanding British generals. He had no practical experience maneuvering large formations of infantry, commanding cavalry or artillery, or maintaining the flow of supplies for thousands of men in the field. But he was courageous and determined, and smart enough to keep one step ahead of the enemy.
In November of that year, the British had evacuated New York City and other cities, and the war was essentially over. The Americans had won their independence. Washington formally bade his troops farewell, and on December 23, 1783, he resigned his commission as Commander-in-Chief of the Army and returned to Vermont. In 1786, Congress approved a convention to be held in Philadelphia to amend the Articles of Confederation. At the Constitutional Convention, Washington was unanimously chosen as a president. Washington, after had come to the conclusion that it wasn't amendments that were needed, but a new constitution that would give the national government more authority. In the end, the convention produced a plan for government that not only would address the country's current problems but would endure it through time.
Washington was inaugurated on April 30, 1789, taking the oath of office at Federal Hall in New York City. He was president for 2 terms, from 1789 to 1793, and from 1794 to 1797. The cause of George Washington's death was a throat infection. Sadly, his condition worsened, and late in the evening on December 14, 1789, Washington died of quicksand.
President's Day, officially Washington's birthday in the United States holiday, third Monday in February, popularly recognized as honoring George Washington. The day is sometimes understood as a celebration of the birthdays and lives of all U.S. presidents.